Okayama might not be the most famous of Japanese cities, but it is actually the largest city in Okayama Prefecture. Enough said, here are the stadiums and arenas of Okayama, Japan. City Lights Stadium was opened way back in 1957 for the 17th National Sports Festival. It then hosted the 60th National Sports Festival in 2005. Well, to be clear, it did host some other events in between. It didn't lay idle for nearly 50 years. But anyway, prior to those games in 2005, the stadium was renovated extensively. They had to take extra precautions to protect some ruins that were discovered nearby a few decades prior. It's been home to the city's top football team for most of its existence, whether it be Fagiano Okayama, who were founded at around the same time that the stadium was renovated, or the defunct Steel Mizushima Soccer Club, who were dissolved in 1994. Despite being home to the city's biggest sports club, it is not the largest stadium in the city. We'll get to that one later on. But yeah, a solid stadium to start with. Zip Arena Okayama was also built for the National Sports Festival. The latter of the two, as you could have picked up on. It's not much of a 1950s aesthetic going on here, is it? It utilises plenty of glass, and you may also notice the timber up top, which makes for a clean modern look. Its non-commercial name is Momo Arena, which was a name chosen by the public. Momotaro is a Japanese folk hero who is claimed by the Okayama Prefecture, although it seems that this is a contentious claim. You're talking absolute shit, Okayama. Nobody owns Momotaro.
Nah, mate. It's our creation, that's for sure. You're the one who's talking shite.
You're just trying to cling on to any bit of fame that you can because you're not as famous as me. I'm not getting involved. Look guys, can't we all just get along? Shut up, Tottori.
Shut up,
Everybody
Tottori.
hates
Nobody
you.
likes you.
Did you like how I nailed all the regional Japanese accents there? Oh, even the seats are wooden. Hopefully they are splinter-proof. Completing the trio of sports venues that this sports park has to offer is Okayama Prefectural Baseball Stadium. If you've seen all the videos we've done on these Japanese cities, you might be tired of hearing me say that most cities in Japan have a ballpark that is very similar to this. Government owned, no professional tenant, amateur clubs, high schools, yada yada yada. But there is one aspect that I particularly like about this one. It is basically completely surrounded by these beautiful tall trees, as well as a canal. There are probably some fish in there, or as they call them in Japan, sashimi multi-packs. I guess this was a game being played very early in the season, because those trees are still leafless and the ground is looking lifeless, which is not helped along by the brown infield. Still, it's a decent ballpark, especially considering that this isn't even the main ballpark in the city. There is a much larger one they call Muscat Stadium. It's not named after the musket gun, that's spelt and pronounced differently, and it's not named after Muscat, the capital of Oman, but it's named after the Muscat grape, which may or may not be named after Muscat, the capital of Oman. Okayama is apparently known for its Muscat grapes. Grapes are so expensive in Japan, so I assume they are the backbone of Okayama's economy. Whether you like grapes or not, Muscat Stadium is a much better name than what it is officially known as. Okayama Prefectural Kurashiki Sports Park Baseball Stadium. A name like that is only really ever used on some piece of paper in a dusty filing cabinet in some government office somewhere. Anyway, this too doesn't have a professional baseball tenant, but it does host at least one MPB game per year, and the occasional international baseball game. In the past it has even hosted exhibition football games. That's why one of the scoreboards has a 45-minute clock on it. The area of the field is the largest in Japan, so it has plenty of room for a football field. I don't think it's hosted any football since City Lights Stadium was renovated though. Okayama General and Cultural Gymnasium is located closer to the coast than the city centre, where there are more fields of rice than there are buildings that rise high. so this brutalist exterior is certainly a stark contrast to its surrounds. The interior looks less like a power plant, which I guess is appreciated by the athletes, there's no turbines and that getting in the way. But it still does have a very industrial look to it. I love that. It's called the Okayama General and Cultural Gymnasium, and when it comes to the cultural aspect, it can accommodate nearly double the amount of people with its theatre-style layout. This is not the theatre-style layout. And now for some honourable mentions. Okayama Dome is not what you might expect. It has a permanent capacity of just 1,000 in baseball mode. Yes, there's a baseball field in here. But temporary seating can be brought in to turn it into a close to 7,000 seat arena for tennis or basketball or whatever. Okayama Budokan. A Budokan is a martial arts venue first and foremost. Kendo, sumo, judo, oreo, all that stuff. But as you can see, it hosts other sports as well. Or is table tennis? No. That's not a martial art. Not yet, anyway. Tamano Keirin is my favourite of the honourable mentions. Talk about a prime location. It is actually quite far from Okayama proper, right by the Seto Inland Sea. Keirin is a form of cycling that is particularly popular with punters in Japan. It basically serves the same role as horse and greyhound racing, although Japan has those as well. And those were the Stadiums of Okayama. They were a very diverse bunch. I'm going to start picking favourites on these city videos. And my favourite a lot would actually have to be Okayama General and Cultural Gymnasium. Of course, I love the exterior, but the fact that it carries over that same aesthetic to the interior is the icing on the cake. Or the metal on the concrete. Consider subscribing if you're new around here, and as always, thanks for watching, have a good one.